Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tag Team Crumb-Off Review. Round 1 is over, and here are the results. But first, my co-host with me, he is the main event. He layeth the spoon down on doth those who not speaketh truth. It is Andy with an I. Are you ready, my friend?
I'm fucking ready to go.
Well, here we go. Here we go, brother. The first round had Eminem, who was chosen by Jake, versus the Oddities, who were chosen by Andy with an I. And after a super intense rock, paper, scissors shoot match to end all rock, paper, scissors shoot matches, Zanka wins, which means the Oddities advance and live to special needs it up another day. What did you think of this intense match, Andy?
Well, they summoned the inner powers of Cartman that Golga used to carry with him down to the frickin' ring, and they overcame that sexy Melina's split dance with her big old chi-chis and screams, but it didn't matter. The Oddities ran wild.
Apparently, Melina's half a clam hanging out wasn't enough to tackle Kurgan. But moving on, Booker T, the five-time WCW champion, and Goldust team together, chosen by Julius Caesar, take on the team of Al Snow and Steve Blackman Head Cheese, who was chosen by Styx Adam.
Over on the After Party Hangover, they covered the Instagram questions. And after Mangria fueled and Julius Caesar had a well-thought-out debate, listing the accolades of each tag team carefully, it was unanimous that Booker T and Goldie move on. What did you think of this, Andrew?
Well, honestly, if I could be honest about it, I thought it was total bullshit. Head Cheese had the best chant ever at a WrestleMania, mind you. Let's go, Head Cheese. Let's go, Head Cheese. So I believe they got robbed.
That is a hot take, my friend, but you are correct. However, Booker T and Goldie move on. Up next was Rated RKO, which consists of the Legend Killer, the Viper, Randy Orton, and Edge, the Rated R Superstar, picked by Mr. Tryon and Zank Chris, take on the team of the Dicks, chosen by the Great Bretsky 99, based on the super funny, super relatable tag name. Those oiled up shorty Chippendales move on in an unbelievable upset. What say you, Andrew?
I say you are what you eat, and I eat a bowl of dicks for breakfast every fucking morning, so rock on, TGB Major.
Fuck yeah, the Dicks move on. And in the final match of round 1, Demolition, chosen by Zanka, takes on Billy and Chuck, picked by Sam, a.k.a. that wrestling guy, a.k.a. that wrestling god, a.k.a. Andy's friend, based on their theme song and Jake's ignorance. Those out-of-shape S&M bastards take round 1 and make Billy and Chuck shout their safe words. What say you, Andy?
I say Demolition may have done something for the SMM scene in the whole world and bringing it out to the light. Now, I just watched The Butcher and Blade on AEW because Demolition, everyone's wearing a fucking Gimp mask on TV nowadays. I think that's a total whole load of bullshit. I definitely think Billy and Chuck, a very progressive team, could have made a better representation for the tag team Crumb-Offs.
I totally agree with you, my friend. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That was round 1 of the Crumb-Off. Stay tuned in the future for round 2 to be played out on the Still Real After Party Podcast.
Okay, thank you, Andy. Now, I would like you to tell the peoples of your upcoming project. Let the Still Real After Party universe know what's up.
So yeah, after a couple months of thinking about this, I thought, that we have the after party and we have the hangover, but you can't have an after party without a pregame. And that's why I wanted to start the pre-real pregame. And unfortunately, it can't be a weekly affair because WWE and AEW don't know what they're doing like until the day of. So therefore, I'm having to move it to once a month, and you can expect the first episode to drop this weekend for a pregame about the TLC pay-per-view. And I'm trying to shoot about like AEW pay-per-views, NXT pay-per-views, and and any WWE pay-per-views. It's not to copy off of what Jake and Zanka are doing. It's more like to complement and bring some new different stuff. I got new ideas to bring to the table, and I'm pretty excited about one of my favorite things. It's got the word of the day, and that's going to be straight fire.
2 questions. Number 1, will there be punishments and consequences for predictions? Question 2, will you have guests?
There won't necessarily be punishments, but there might be some consequences based on the word of the day and your pregame of choice. And I will have guests. I'm doing one right now. My first guest is my son. It was more of a pilot thing, but it went so well, I'm going to keep it. It's going to be the first 5-minute segment. It's going to be short, like all pregame should be, very short. I'm pushing no more than 30 minutes. So I'm going to try to get as much content as I can in with maybe 2 to 3 guests an episode.
That's a good idea, man. To let everybody know where you're going to post it and when they can expect it.
Editing's been a real bitch lately, but I might go the first like segment I did with my son. There's a lot of editing in it, and I think it's going to be a lot of work. So I'm just going to play with a few things on the 3 separate guests I have this week with heavy editing, low editing. But definitely I'm going to shoot for YouTube. I'm going to send it to Jake, and Jake's going to freaking upload it on the Still Real page. I have my own page I'm setting up right now. I might right now I'm pretty sure it's Andy with an I, underscores and everything, like my Instagram handle, but I might change it to Still Real Pregame. And if you guys hate reggae horns, this isn't the podcast for you.
Alrighty, Andy. Well, pay attention, people. You pay attention to the Still Real After Party YouTube page. If you find Andy with an Eyes page, go ahead and subscribe him and pay attention every month for the pregame. Is that what it's called?
Still Real Pregame. Anytime there's a pay-per-view, AEW's on Saturday, so it's going to drop the Saturday morning / afternoon before the pay-per-view. And for NXT, same thing on Saturdays. And for WWE pay-per-views, it's going to be on the Sundays.
Well, there you go, After Party Hangover listeners. Thank you, Andy, for helping me out. And now on to the Wednesday review. Welcome to the After Party Hangover Wednesday review show. I am your host, Mangria Fueled. Today's guest, possible serial killer, PeterWayneKent. How's it going, my man?
It's going great, my man.
Well, we got a whole lot of wrestling to get to, so let's kick it off with AEW Dynamite, hailing from Dallas, Texas this week. We get Jon Moxley starting it off. He's taking on someone who they didn't name at all. I didn't know who the hell that guy was. But after a minute of wrestling, I guess you could call it, Moxley squashes him. Moxley celebrating, walking around the ring, and in comes his buddy who they do name John Silver. Moxley takes him out as well. Then, before I move on, did you like these squash matches? Do you think they're necessary for Moxley to build his character? Or do you think it was a waste of time?
I think it was a waste of time. They should have given him a real competitor.
I guess
But they had to kill some time to get to the next segment, so I know why they did it.
Yeah, it was a good idea to kick it off with action instead of, some promo. So I guess that's a good... Yeah, exactly. But this all sets up Jericho and the Inner Circle to come out to... Of course, Jericho with the promo of the night, as always, comes in and tries to convince Jon Moxley to join the Inner Circle. He goes over their past. He goes over WWE without actually saying their WWE past, which I thought was clever. Jericho, he's the man with the golden tongue. He can convince anybody to join Inner Circle. However, I don't believe Moxley will. As far as wrestling, as far as WWE storytelling, that's what we're all used to. This is gonna play out with Moxley pretending to join and then attacking Jericho and when he least expects it.
But do you want Jon Moxley to join the Inner Circle or no?
No, I don't want him to join the Inner Circle. I want him to be his own guy, a lone wolf like Baron Corbin. It's supposed to be.
Well, Jericho, before he leaves, puts an Inner Circle shirt on Moxley's shoulder and just walks away. They didn't jump him. Moxley actually looks like he's contemplating in his face. Well, he always has angry face, but before they cut out the commercial, he did look like he was thinking about it. Inner Circle walks away, and then we come back with the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny taking on Cody and QT Marshall. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Who the fuck is QT Marshall?
I have no idea who that guy was either.
Yeah, it was a pretty good match. I don't know who QT Marshall is, but MJF, as Cody and QT Marshall were coming down to the ring, he did a picture-in-picture promo, which I noticed had a small audio issue. It was a quiet video. Did you notice that?
Audio issue too.
Yeah, they had the picture-in-picture pretty huge, but you could barely hear what MJF was saying. And but he did take a couple jabs at Cody not being able to be champion again.
Yeah.
We get the match started, and what I didn't expect was Bunny interfering as much. I did notice that Bunny kind of has a Stacy Keibler vibe. Did you catch that? She kind of reminds me of Stacy Keibler with those long ass legs.
Yeah, I missed it because I was trying to take notes down, so I had to keep looking up. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Before they go to commercial, Bunny tugs on QT's foot, and then the picture-in-picture in the commercial, Cody spits water into Blade's face. Blade is a great name, by the way. Either a vampire movie or a wrestler, it's a pretty damn good name. He looks a lot older than he is, though, with the balding. He kind of gives me a Cesaro vibe.
Yeah, that's how Cesaro's hair is when you don't shave it.
And the Butcher still freaks me out. That dude, when he opens his eyes huge, he just looks like a fucking beast in that ring. I guess compared to Cody and QT, like, they're pretty short. There's not that many big guys in AEW, so I guess anybody's going to look huge compared to those midgets.
Yeah, he looks pretty cool, dude. I like that team.
QT takes most of the punishment during the match. He finally gets the hot tag to Cody. Cody comes in hot, smashing and beating everybody up, and then Bunny rakes his eyes, of course, getting involved yet again. QT hits a really weird crossroads, and then senton off the top rope. I like how Cody was shitting on everyone doing the crossroads wrong, and then QT does this bizarre version of the crossroads. What would you rate that crossroads he gave him?
Probably a 3. It looked like it was pretty decent out of nowhere.
He was going.
It looks like he wasn't gonna do it, but then he went for it.
Yeah, he went in slow motion. I noticed when he did it, and the look on Cody's face was pretty funny too, because Cody was encouraging it, but then when he did it, he was like, ugh. But the Butcher and the Blade eventually hit the suplex backstabber combo for the win, and Cody sits outside looking defeated on the barricade, and all of a sudden, Darby Allin comes out and picks Cody up, gives him a look, and then walks away. Are you excited to see Darby Allin with Cody Rhodes in the future? It looks like they're going to take on the Butcher and the Blade next.
Yeah, it looks like Cody might be his new mentor or something, I guess. I was expecting Darby Allin to come out. I thought it'd be one of the young bucks like they usually do when one of their friends is hurt. They'll come out and help them up.
Have you been watching all of AEW's product that they've been putting out over the year?
I watched the first couple of pay-per-views. I missed the good one, the last one with the Kenny Omega and the Jon Moxley match. That's the only pay-per-view I missed.
Was it Fyter Fest or Fight for the Fallen where Darby Allin and Cody Rhodes fought to a time limit draw? Do you remember that?
I can't remember that.
Because that's why I was thinking why Darby came out to help Cody, because there was like a mutual respect. So I guess that's the motivation for it. Because Cody has no friends on the show besides the Young Bucks, but they're tied up in something else. So that's the only thing I can think of. But they're gonna put Darby over big time if Cody and Darby go over the Butcher and the Blade. If Bunny would stay out of it.
Do you think the villain's gonna be their leader like everybody else, or you think he's gonna come in and do his own thing?
Oh, from Ring of Honor?
Yeah.
I'm not really familiar with his work. I don't watch Ring of Honor, but if he does come in, I would want to see him join the Inner Circle, because he's a big name, right?
He's a big name, but he's not that big.
Is he a goth guy? Is he a goth guy like the Butcher and the Blade, or is he more of a Jericho vibe?
He would fit in more with the Butcher and the Blade than Jericho's team.
Yeah, because I know he was a part of the Bullet Club, right?
Yeah, he was part of the Bullet Club. Now he has his own thing called Villain Enterprises and Ring of Honor.
There's so much fucking wrestling to watch, dude. I can't keep up with all of it. That's just another 2 hours of my life dedicated to wrestling. But anyway, MJF and Wardlow come out, and for some reason he starts picking on the grip on the floor, one of the crew that sets up the ring and stuff. And he points out that last week he was laughing at him, and so he said for forgiveness he can kiss his newly won diamond ring. And the grip does it, but eventually hits the crossroads on him anyway. I don't understand why. Oh, maybe just to make MJF look like a bigger asshole, but you think that Wardlow would have been the one to beat the shit out of that guy. What do you think of MJF and Wardlow and their heel work?
I think Wardlow's going to be the guy to watch for, because he's a pretty big dude. And that whole kissing the ring thing, that was the thing they did in Ring of Honor with Cody, too. Cody had a World Championship ring that he would make people kiss, and then Matt Taven took it from him, and he was doing the same gimmick with that, too, with the ring over there.
Oh, well, I didn't know that. Man, I'm glad you're keeping up on Ring of Honor. I had no idea. Maybe that was like another dig at Cody.
Yeah, that's what it was for, I'm pretty sure.
Well, MJF, he cuts a killer promo after that, and he mentions Cody's list, which is pretty messed up, and he even drops that infamous line from WWE, "Suffer and Succotash." That I wonder if that was an actual jab at WWE, or was it just coincidence? He was trying to make fun of Cody's lisp.
I think he was just trying to make fun of Cody's lisp. But the one line he said that I liked was, "When my mouth opens, these bullets don't miss." I like that comment that he made in his promo.
Oh yeah, machine gun mouth opens, these bullets don't miss, or something.
Yeah, something like that. I like that.
That's going to be on the shirt pretty soon, watch.
I'm surprised it already isn't, because anything they say sometimes is already on the shirt that night.
Well, after this promo, we get a Dark Order video, and I didn't catch this at first, but it actually includes the two people who were in the opening segment. Apparently, the guy Moxley beat, his name is Alex, and his buddy John Silver were in a hotel room, and they were watching just the boring hotel amenities video where they say, "Hey, you can go and get a continental breakfast, and there's a warm pool." And then the video starts talking to Alex directly, which I thought was a pretty cool touch, and we got some flashes of Evil Uno. What did you think of this video? Do you think this was better or worse than last week's weird Walking Dead tribute?
I liked it. It's showing how that the Dark Order is brainwashing people into joining them. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, do you think they're going to join?
Well, they need to make the Dark Order a bigger unit, so I'm pretty sure they'll join them.
Yeah, the Dark Order, they need to add people that matter instead of all the, what do they call them, the minions or something that nobody knows?
Yeah.
It just looks like a bunch of fat slob homeless guys that are joining the Dark Order. They need some something to bring their group merit and have make them a bigger name. Could you imagine if someone like Hangman Page or Omega joined the Dark Order? That would put them way higher up in the ranks.
Yep. Or even us talking about the villain, maybe he could be behind it too.
Oh yeah, he does have another. You said he has like a goth like vibe, like the Butcher and the Blade. Dark Order, that would be badass, man. That would finally, instead of having that Viking Raider and the Fat Slob are the only two in Dark Order, adding the villain to it would really pique people's interest.
Yeah.
Well, we follow this up with Big Swole versus Sakura, the weird Freddie Mercury impersonator. This Sakura, I heard she's like in her 40s. I'm surprised they signed this old lady to come in there. I guess she's just there to put the younger talent over, but Swole was lighting her up with strikes. Sakura was sticking to the submissions. Big Swole turned a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker into a flatliner, which was very impressive to me. Did you like this match? Is there anything that stuck out to you?
Yeah, Big Swole's finisher. I think they called it the Dirty Dancing. That was pretty neat move there.
I like how AEW is making. They're taking common moves and putting their own twist on them. Big Swole is going to be a big star, I bet you, in this division. Sakura brings in the mic stand for some stupid reason, trying to pretend like she's Freddie Mercury again. Big Swole gets it and starts doing like a weird dancing move that JR says was James Brown. I thought it was odd that he went to James Brown for that, but Big Swole keeps on striking, hits the brogue kick. Sakura's no selling anything, by the way. She's just standing there like a big lump of dumb. And Swole eventually wins with the ripcord forearm. If this was on Hulu, this match probably wouldn't be on the cut. Because, Big Swole is still, learning the ropes, basically. And Sakura's zero charisma. I don't think this would have been on the Hulu version. But it was a decent match, I guess. But great time killer.
Even when Sakura came out and she stuck her microphone in that kid's face, he's like, "Get out of my face!"
He's like,
that kid.
Yeah, he's like, "Who the hell are you, Grandma?"
Yeah.
Well, we get a backstage interview with Pac talking about opportunity. I don't know if you noticed that. He kept dropping that line.
Opportunity.
Yeah. I guess he wants his rubber match with who was it? Do you remember who he wanted the rubber match with? I didn't write it.
No, I do not remember. I have rubber match written down, but I don't remember who he was talking about. I don't know if he was talking about he wanted a match with Kenny Omega again or what.
It probably is Kenny Omega. I didn't write it down either. I just wrote down rubber match. It's just pretty funny that we both did that. Well, it'll be interesting to see who it is. It'll probably be on this upcoming week's show. But after that, we get Kip Sabian and Shawn Spears versus Hangman Page and Kenny Omega. This was a pretty interesting match because of the ending. We'll get there, but I don't know who the hell Kip Sabian is, but his chick's hot. Page and Kenny basically have a chopping spree on Kip. I don't know if they're trying to one-up each other. They didn't really seem like a real cohesive unit in this match. They seemed like they were trying to one-up each other. I didn't really see any chemistry between Page and Omega. There's something up with Hangman Page, but afterwards, Kenny goes for a high five, gets snubbed by Page. So they're trying to tell a story here of maybe Hangman Page is frustrated with his position in the company, I guess, because Omega was all for it, teamwork and good vibes, and Hangman Page was in there like he was, I don't know, what he had like a wild hair up his ass or something.
I know he's upset. He keeps losing his matches, so that's why he dropped out of the elite. So maybe that's what the whole issue is right now. he doesn't think he's good enough for the elite, so he's going to turn his back on them.
Well, during the commercial break, Hangman Page gets beat down. Eventually, hot tags to Kenny. Kenny Omega cleans house. That blonde chick distract Kip and Sean. Wait a minute. Blonde chick. My notes are written.
Penelope Ford.
What?
Penelope Ford.
Yeah, she was a great distraction for Kip and Sean. They eventually take advantage. Penelope hit the Hurricane Rod on Adam Page. That's pretty impressive because she's not as small as Zelina Vega.
No, she's not.
Eventually, attacks Kenny in the corner. The lights go out. We see Tully Blanchard tied to a chair, which was very strange. Joey Janela dancing all around it, laughing. Sean Spears goes out there to save him. They fight. Kenny knees Kip to the back of the head, and then Adam Page tags himself in and hits the buckshot lariat for the win. And then Omega has this look on his face like, what the fuck, dude? I had it won. And, Page just swoops in there and steals his thunder. What do you think this is setting up to?
Heel turn for Page, it looks like.
Would you be excited to see that match? I don't remember ever seeing Omega versus Page. Do you?
I don't remember seeing it, but I wish they would have put the title on him, not Jericho. But I know the reason they put the title on Jericho because he's the main star of the show right now, and to get people watching.
But could you imagine if Page did win, where they would be right now? That charisma-free, boring cowboy guy. I don't see what the hype is. I don't see what the hype is about him. I don't hear him cutting any fire promos. So Jericho, I believe, was the correct choice.
Yeah.
Brandy Rhodes' video promo looks like she's in a Vegas hotel room talking about the Nightmare Collective. Then that bald chick from the audience was there with her. I still don't know her name, but I heard that she's a wrestler, like on the indies.
Yeah, I did too.
And this whole time she's talking, there's a bald dude who's not facing the camera. You could just see his big bald head. And he's about to turn to show himself, and Brandy goes, "Not yet. Who do you think that bald guy is?"
I cannot figure out who that was, man. If he would have turned a little more, I wanted to know who it was. I couldn't figure out who it is. It has to be some independent wrestler.
It could be, or I'm trying to think who it could be that is either bald or shaved their head just for this.
It can't be Dustin, right?
That would be fucked up, but it would be funny at the same time. Wouldn't he have more wrinkles on his head, though, if it was Dustin?
Yeah, you're right.
Well, we get Jericho and Jake Hagar. They go up to the commentary table and tell Tony Schiavone and Excalibur to beat it. Jericho and Hagar take their place on the commentary table for this next matchup. Sammy Guevara versus Luchasaurus. The best part about this match was the commentary. Jericho and JR together, they were playing off each other. It was really funny. Jericho kept asking Jake Hagar questions, and then he would answer for him. He goes, "That's right, I agree completely." Even though Jake Hagar was completely silent that entire time. I thought that was pretty good. Did you like this matchup?
Yeah, this match was pretty good. There's a lot of cool moves from Luchasaurus. Man, that dude's pretty big. He can pull off some little man moves.
Have you ever seen him without his mask?
Yeah, I used to watch. I watched Big Brothers just like Jake, so I knew who he was.
Was he really a big pussy on that show?
Yeah.
He was? Did he cry on that show too?
Because he hooked up with one of the girls in there, and he would cry sometimes.
Jeez, that's not doing him any favors. Well, anyway, Luchasaurus beat down Sammy during the commercial break. This match was kind of one-sided. Sammy did throw in some offense, but his speed helped as well. Luchasaurus is a star. I mean, he's got the look, he's got the moves, even the gimmick. Even though he's a strange dinosaur, it's something different. I like it. He wins with the reverse power bomb. Jericho and Hagar jump in there and beat the shit out of him. And then Jungle Boy and the Chucky doll runs out to the ring to help him. Jericho gets pinned by Jungle Boy, and Marco counts for the 3 count, and Jericho is very pissed off. He kept saying, that didn't count. That didn't count. I thought that was pretty fucking funny. They announced the next AEW pay-per-view called Revolution. It's on Leap Day, February 29th. Are they going to stretch out Jericho and Moxley, or do you believe Jericho will have a new opponent by then? Because that's, 3 months away? Or 2.5 months?
Yeah, maybe they'll have the Jericho one with Moxley on New Year's Eve, maybe. Or New Year's Day, whatever they have planned for that day. That's what I'm thinking. I don't think they'll give the title to Mox. Jericho's going to have it for a while.
Is the first on the... Oh, yeah, the first is on a Wednesday. Oh, shit, I didn't even know that. Yeah, they probably will. NXT and AEW will probably pull out all stops for the New Year's show. Then we get the Young Bucks versus Pride and Power in their street fight. Santana and Ortiz attack the Young Bucks during their entrance. And... Did Cutler come out? Oh, Brandon Cutler came out too? I have that written down. I don't even remember.
Yeah, I don't have that written down.
I guess they were trying to help.
That match was all over the place at the beginning, man.
Oh, that's right. And Santana and Ortiz, they throw Brandon Cutler off the stage. The Young Bucks hit the Indie Taker on Sammy. I did not know that move was called the Indie Taker. I thought it was called the Meltzer Driver.
I think they call it both.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's called both.
That's a pretty funny name, Indie Taker. I got to give them props to that. They put Ortiz on a table and swanton his ass through it. And all of this took place on the entrance stage. They smash cut to the tag champions SCU and Crowd. They both have a beer just being entertained this entire time. Because the winners of this match go on to face SCU for the tag team belts this coming Wednesday. So they did have an interest in this outcome. Nick was put in a trash can, and Santana and Ortiz both took shots with a kendo stick and a slapjack. I wonder how much that really hurt, or did the trash can protect them?
That has to hurt.
It looked like the trash can was like a shield, though. But I mean, the aesthetic of it looked pretty nice of him getting his ass kicked.
Yeah, and then Matt comes out, Matt came out with the Dallas Cowboy helmet.
I gotta say this. I'm sorry if you're a fan, but fuck the Cowboys. I hate the Cowboys. So I was looking at the screen going, fuck you. When he came out in the Dallas Cowboys helmet, I was like, all right, you're pandering to these idiots.
Yes, he was.
Well, speaking of that, he double spears them wearing that helmet. Santana eventually spits on the helmet. That was the one time I'm a huge Santana fan, was when he spit on that fucking helmet and used it as a weapon. Matt Jackson eventually gets tossed over the top rope through a table. Ortiz jumps into Nick over the top rope, putting him through a table. There's just chaos throughout this entire match. Very entertaining. Santana and Ortiz, they dominate through the commercial break. Nick Jackson hits a 450 on the Ortiz. Of course, Jake Hagar has to come and interfere. But then Dustin...
Don't forget that he hit the trash can with that 450 splash, too.
Yeah, he was wrapped up in that trash can. Now, that looked like it hurt. I don't think the trash can did anybody any favors during that 450.
No, it did not.
Well, after Jake Hagar interferes, Dustin interferes and helps on behalf of the Bucks. I like how the ref took a kick to the face, by the way. Did you catch that?
I might have missed that with all the stuff going around on the screen.
Yeah, because they had to replace him with Aubrey, the dyke-looking ref, came out to help.
Oh, that's right. I remember she had to come out and she missed the count.
Yeah. Santana and Ortiz, they hit an elevated blockbuster, another basic move that they put the AEW twist on. I've never seen that before. Aubrey gets pulled out while she was counting. Just people randomly going through tables the entire matchup. But the Bucks hit the Meltzer driver, I'm doing quotes, for the win onto some chairs. So that means that next week we get the Young Bucks taking on SCU for the AEW Tag Team Championships. Are you looking forward to that match?
It's going to be a good match. I've seen it a dozen of times in Ring of Honor. But I think they should have just given the win to Santana and Ortiz, because at least you have a chance. Because they're not going to take those titles off of SCU right now. If they would put Santana and Ortiz against SCU, there might have been a chance that the fans would have been like, "Oh, they're gonna do it. They're gonna give Inner Circle all the titles right now."
Yeah, if they did that, it would be like a NXT Undisputed Era, like they're mirroring them. The Inner Circle would have all the gold, in other words.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess because NXT's bringing out the big guns this coming Wednesday, they want the most popular tag team, the Young Bucks, to go for the belts. Who came out on top in Ring of Honor when Young Bucks and SCU fought? Who won the majority of the time?
I can't remember, but I believe it'd be probably the Young Bucks.
Yeah, I would be interested to know the stats on their matches facing each other, because I had no idea they fought each other all the time.
Yeah, go back if you have time. I think it was last Final Battle, the last time the Young Bucks were and SU were in Ring of Honor. I think they wrestled the Briscoes for the titles too. That match was a ladder match. Everything was all over the place. Their ladder matches in Ring of Honor are killer, dude. You need to watch them.
Could you imagine if the Briscoes jumped to AEW? That would be a massive blow to Ring of Honor.
They need to do something with them, because they took the titles off them again last night and put them on Jay Lethal and Jonathan Grisham, or not Jonathan Grisham, the Octopus.
Well, you're a massive fan of the Briscoes, right?
Yeah, the Briscoes are the freaking best tag team out there right now.
If they came to AEW, would you even watch Ring of Honor anymore?
Yeah, because I like Matt Taven and a couple of other guys there.
Oh,
so I'd still watch Ring of Honor.
That's right. Yeah, it does come on over here. It's just, like I said, I watch so much fucking wrestling already. Eventually, I'll get to it. But we move on to NXT. We get Adam Cole opening the show, bitching about the triple threat match. It was a video package. He wasn't in the ring. But we kick off NXT with... I'm really conflicted with this, because Angel Garza versus Lio Rush for the Cruiserweight Championship, I would say was the match of the week. However, the main event of NXT was just as good. I can't decide which one was better, but Angel Garza versus Lio Rush kicks off. Is Lio Rush the heel?
I don't know, because they were trying to make it seem like Angel Garza was the heel messing with Lio Rush's family.
And the crowd was split the entire match. I mean, it was more heavily in Angel's favor, but Lio Rush was getting some chance as well.
Yeah.
Well, Leo didn't even give Garza a chance to get to the ring. They were in the ring introducing each other, and Leo just jumped his ass. Super fast-paced match. Garza, he has the upper hand in the beginning. I loved how Garza and Leo ended up in a slapping match. Did you catch that? They just slapped the shit out of each other, and then Garza started headbutting Leo.
Yeah, I seen that part.
Leo...
sorry.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that Lio Rush had a great Hurricane Rana spot in the match.
Yeah, he Hurricane Rana's Garza out of the ring. That was fucking incredible. These two are superstars, man. I can't wait to see what the future holds for them. If Leo would get his ego in check and don't get in trouble anymore.
No shit.
Well, Garza hits a top rope Spanish fly, and Moro has a fucking heart attack in the ring. He's like, he was just like, oh my god, oh, and then he said, Madre mia. He put the Spanish twist on that saying. Oh man, the dual headbutts, the dual slaps, super kicks. These guys just fucked each other up. Leo hits the wing clipper to Garza. That's Garza's finisher. That was an added dig to Garza. Leo hits the springboard stunner. Tries to pin Garza, but Garza claws his way out of the ring. As he's clawing his way out of the ring, Leo rips his pants off, making the audience pop because that's his gimmick. Leo tries the final hour to the outside of the ring, but Garza got his knees up in the last second, and that looked like it hurt, man. I mean, it's one thing to do it in the ring, but when he did it to the outside, that must have hurt like a motherfucker. Well, Garza eventually wins. He puts a wing clip. He hits the wing clipper, and then Leo kicks out, but then he gets him in like a wing clipper submission, which is very unique. I've never seen anything like that before. Leo eventually taps out, and we get a new cruiserweight champion, Angel Garza. What did you think of this matchup? What would you give it in slices?
6 and crust.
I said 6 and stuffed crust. That's a 6.9. It was a pretty damn good match. Of course, during the break, I guess Angel Garza brought his girlfriend into the ring. She's this little Spanish hottie, brought her in, and Garza was listing the 4 most important things in his life. He said, number 1, wrestling. Number 2, NXT. Number 3, my dog. Number 4, my cousin. Number 5, my girlfriend, I guess. And then he eventually proposed to her, and she said yes, but doesn't that kind of ruin his gimmick? Isn't he like supposed to be like this Latin playboy who hooks up with every chick?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking why he did that too.
A little bizarre, but I mean, congratulations to Angel Garza. This must have been the best night of his life. We get a Shayna Baszler video package. I think they should do video packages for her from now on. I don't think she should ever talk when she's on live TV again, because this was her best promo she's ever done. She talked calmly. She was working on cars. Like she was doing, she was in her natural habitat, just being herself, and very convincingly ran down everybody she's beaten in the past. And she says that Rhea Ripley is no different. This video package was very well done. Made me look forward to the match even more. Tap, nap, snap. Why is that not on a shirt? Well, we move on.
They got a new t-shirt guy too.
Yeah, they do. Well, except for that Jordan Miles shirt. Wow.
Did you see that he put it over his face and he photoshopped it on his face?
He did?
He did, and Chad Gasper was talking, had to educate him on Twitter about that too.
Oh my God, that dude, man, I'm glad he retired from wrestling. What a big crybaby. Well, we get a Raul Mendoza versus Cameron Grimes matchup. It wasn't that long until Kushida came out and distracted Cameron. Raul pins Cameron, and then for some fucking reason, Kushida steals Cameron's top hat. I don't understand why that's a big deal. He can just go to any fucking store and get another one for like $3.99. What did you think of this quick match?
It was decent. I like Kushida since New Japan. He has a Marty McFly gimmick, and I'm a big Back to the Future fan, so I like Kushida's gimmick.
Who would Kushida feud with in New Japan? Because I'm not familiar with him at all.
I've seen bits and pieces of him in New Japan. I really didn't watch the matches a lot because, you know, I just went to watch for the Bullet Club and Kenny Omega mostly.
Yeah.
So I was more on Ring of Honor than New Japan.
Did he have the Back to the Future gimmick in New Japan?
Yeah, he did. That's why I liked him. And I was like, once I seen that he signed with WWE, I'm like, great, they're going to take that gimmick away from him.
Yeah, that's gimmick infringement. I'm surprised Universal's... Oh, wait, that is a Universal... I don't know what company did that, but maybe that's why they're allowing it.
Yeah, Universal owns Back to the Future rights.
We get a backstage interview with Mia Yim. Mia Yim's pissed off, and she says she's gonna kill Dakota Kai, basically. We get another match with the Forgotten Sons. Gunner. I know that's not his name.
Forgotten Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm just not. I have zero interest in the Forgotten Sons. I don't like their theme song. I think their gimmick is played out and stupid because all three of them stand on the stage and they scream in Gunner's face, and Gunner just stares forward. It's pretty bizarre. I don't like it.
That dude's pretty big, though.
He's a big badass, but they need to give him more time to shine. This was the first time I've seen him in a one-on-one match with Travis Banks, but Travis Banks wins. Like they buried Gunner.
Yeah, I know.
They're just taking all the steam out of the Forgotten Sons. I wrote down on my notes, "Don't care," so I didn't even document any of the specific moves. I think I got up and used the restroom and ate or something. I didn't really care about this match. We get Mia Yim versus Dakota Kai next, which is a very good match. However, Dakota Kai came out with a normal theme and a normal Titantron, which is very disappointing. Last week with her Tegan Knox torture video and music, that popped me big time. I don't know why they made her entrance boring. I was just very disappointed.
I think it's funny how Andy called out that she was going to turn heel on freaking War Games.
Yeah, he was correct on that. And then Dakota Kai became interesting finally.
That was a good match. I had some notes on that one.
On Mia Yim versus Dakota Kai?
Yeah, that was a better match than the women's match on AEW. That was a way better match.
Oh, definitely. Mia Yim and Dakota Kai can bring it, and it's very interesting, whereas Big Swole and Sakura was just like an obvious time killer match. Because Mia Yim and Dakota Kai have a story, so that's why we care. You know, on AEW, they have zero story with any of the females, and if it is, it's Brandy and Awesome Kong, which they don't even wrestle. They just talk shit and cut people's hair off, whereas Mia Yim and Dakota Kai have history, the whole War Games thing, and Dakota Kai trying to prove herself because she feels underrated. It was just a very good match. Mia Yim dominates pretty much the whole match. She hits the tarantula stretch, which I haven't seen in a while since Tajiri. They have a good back and forth, but Mia does dominate most of this matchup. What are your notes on this match?
After she pinned her, she took her to the sound area and suplexed her off the top of the stands into the table.
Yeah, that looked really ugly.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if Dakota Kai was her or what, because Yim could barely get up.
Well, back to the match. Dakota, of course, removes the turnbuckle and smashes Mia in the face. Dakota wins.
Oh, that's how it happens. I have the notes right here. I got mixed up. Sorry.
No, that's okay. That's what pisses Mia off, she just beats the shit out of Dakota Kai. Mia back body drops her off the stage through a table, and I don't know if you caught this or not, but when they were falling, going through the first table, I believe both of their heads clipped the second table, which looked very unsafe. And hopefully Dakota Kai is okay, because I only saw Mia Yim get up. Mia Yim was getting up like slowly. You can tell they were both affected by this. Hopefully neither of them are injured, because we need to further that storyline.
Yeah, that was a good match, though. Yeah, I hope she's not hurt, because I was reading some about there's an injury on NXT. There's now that they've gone live every week, there's always injuries now, because they want to outshine the main roster.
Oh, yeah. They're kicking it into fifth gear, and they know what's riding on the line. Because if the ratings drop, Vince is going to stick his nose in their business and ruin everything.
Yeah.
After this, we get an impressive Keith Lee video package. Again, NXT's video packages are incredible. You can get all of their stars acting like themselves. Even though their promos are probably scripted, they're more comfortable talking. You can hear it in their voice. They're more confident. They need to do this with everybody all the time because a lot of them aren't great at promos.
Yep. The video promos are a lot better than the live mic.
We come back from commercial and look who's back. Breezango as nurses. I love this gimmick that they keep coming out in random jobs. I mean, they're going back to the comedy bit that they used to do, but it's not as funny, haha. It's more like, oh, they're cool because they can pull off anything, you know?
Yeah, and the fans love them.
Because I remember when Breezango first came back to NXT about months ago, they were taking it more serious, even though they had the same theme music, but... You know, they're still entertaining. They're bringing eyes to the product, and they're being featured on TV, which is always good.
Exactly.
They took on the Singh Bros, and I didn't take many notes on this match. I hope you did. I just put Breezango wins. I don't even remember how they won.
Fandango freaking slammed one of the Singh brothers on the edge of the mat. It looked like his head clipped it pretty hard. I don't know if you noticed that one.
The Singh Bros can take a licking and keep on ticking. You remember when Randy Orton threw their ass around?
Yeah, shit, I forgot about that one.
They must be paying them very well because they pay Jinder well. I don't know if it's like an Indian thing or something, but the Singh Bros, the Singh Bros can go too. I don't know if you remember them in the Cruiserweight Classic. It's kind of weird how they're basically used as enhancement talent.
Yeah, you also didn't see the part when freaking what's his name? Not Fandango. Tyler Breeze had one of the Singh brothers stretched out, and Fandango jumped from the top rope and elbowed him on the outside.
Oh shit, man!
Yeah, they beat the shit out of those guys.
I wish I would have took more notes. I don't know why I didn't, but I'm glad you did because I didn't remember that. Then we follow this matchup with a Rhea Ripley video package. They're really diving into her story now. They're telling her background and letting us get to know her. I guess they had her childhood pictures up there and her motivation for becoming a wrestler and her very short but very interesting story how she got into wrestling. Again, I'm loving these video packages. Her accent wasn't as thick when she did the talking on this video, whereas it is when she's cutting an in-ring promo.
Hey, did you notice that she has some weird piercing on her inner lip?
Yeah, she's
when she lifted her lip up there, I'm like, is it pierced or gum or what?
That girl likes pain, I guess. So she must be a freak in the bedroom. We follow that up with Kaden Carter versus Bianca Belair. Another match I didn't really take any notes on. I didn't really care. Bianca Belair with an easy win. Did you take any notes on this match?
Not really, but I did notice that almost every single match on NXT, everybody opened up with a cheap shot against their opponent.
That's true.
Every single one.
I did look on Hulu. I looked at the segments that were left out, and this one was obviously left out. But I mean, Bianca Belair's a star. It was just a showcase for her.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they didn't move her with her husband, like they did everybody else, moving with their boyfriend or husband.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe that's foreshadowing the Rumble or something that she's gonna go to the main roster. Because a lot of the female talent who didn't win the NXT Women's title get moved anyway, so maybe she's next. Because Nikki Cross didn't win, and Alexa Bliss never became champion, so maybe Bianca is the next talent to be moved without winning the NXT Women's title.
Yep.
After this, Adam Cole comes out with his belt for the main event. Tommaso Ciampa versus Keith Lee versus Finn Balor for the #1 contendership to Adam Cole's NXT Championship. This fucking match, I mean, they treated this like a takeover match. It was so damn good.
Yeah. and then they had extra time too.
Yeah, they did.
It ended like 10 after the hour.
Keith Lee was basically bitch slapping everybody. He was throwing everybody around because, of course, he's massive. I like how Keith Lee, by the way, every time he does something impressive, like he lingers. I don't know if you noticed, like when he throws people around, he like stands up and like stares at them, and he does like this dominating pose over them just to get the crowd to pop.
Just for them to say, "Fast, give his glory."
Hell yeah, Keith Lee, whoop whoop, Keith Lee, whoop whoop. Tommaso.
They took that from the villain, man.
Tommaso.
That was the villain thing. Sorry.
Just as impressive, hitting double draping DDTs on both these guys. I mean,
yeah, that's what I was just gonna say too, man. It
was so hard to predict who was gonna win this match. Finn steps up his game when he's in NXT, and now that he's a heel, he doesn't have to do that. But my God, he's like 10 times better as a heel in NXT than he ever was as a face on the main roster.
Yep. He's way better as a heel.
Keith Lee dominates both of them with a double hip toss. Through the commercial break, we get all kinds of action as well. Tommaso Ciampa hits a draping DDT to the apron on Keith Lee, which I'm surprised Keith Lee doesn't have brain damage. Tommaso and Finn double Russian leg sweep off the second rope was incredible as well. Eventually, Tommaso gets to the top rope, has Adam Cole and the Air Raid crush, but Keith Lee elevates both of them, walks backwards, and it was just an electric chair drop combined with the Air Raid crush. And I don't know if you saw how Keith Lee landed, but he landed really hard on his hips, and the other two landed pretty ugly as well. That was kind of a scary move to pull off, but they did it.
That's from top rope, right?
Yep. That was incredible. I'm surprised Tommaso didn't rename that move something different. The Air Raid crush, because it's basically Sheamus's white noise.
Yeah, I forgot that used to be Sheamus's finisher too. Until I heard, I think Zinka they were talking about it this week too.
Tommaso Ciampa, he's a little guy. He looks like a little bridge troll. He picked up that 300-pound Keith Lee and hits the same air raid crash to him. I'm surprised he doesn't have a hernia from that. That looked like he shit his pants when he had them up there, because his face is just like, oh my God, this guy's heavy.
Yeah, he's like 300 plus pounds. What's Ciampa weigh? Like 180? Shit.
180 soaking wet, basically.
With his beard.
Keith Lee, he eventually hits a spirit bomb to Tommaso Ciampa. Finn takes advantage and hits the coup de grace on Keith Lee for the win, which was very surprising. I had no idea they were going to have Finn Balor win this matchup. By the way, can you spell coup de grace?
Hell no, I put C-O-U-D-E-G-R-A. I do not know how to spell that word.
I don't know how to spell it either, man, but it's funny when you look it up. It's something you wouldn't even imagine. It looks.
Is it C-O-U-P-E?
Yeah. I think it's C-O-U-P-E-D-E-G-R-A-S. That is a very weird way to spell that. But after Finn was celebrating in the ring, I noticed something weird. Like, the camera was lingering on Finn Balor. And I'm like, is something going to happen? Like, because I didn't see the little credits they have in the corner of the screen. And something did happen. Adam Cole comes out and has the entire Undisputed Era with them, holding all their championships, including Bobby Fish returning, staring down Finn as Finn did the crooked finger gun pointing thing to him in the middle of the ring. I hope Bobby Fish is okay and is cleared to return.
Yeah, man. Because look, they're using the Freebird rule right now, aren't they, for the tag titles?
Yeah, they are, because Bobby Fish cannot, stop getting injured. That dude's injured once every 3 months.
Yeah.
I'm surprised
He's up there.
he survived War Games without getting injured. That was more brutal than what Keith Lee did to him a couple weeks ago. Well, I was pretty proud of myself on the last Hangover for coming up with the fatal four-way situation that I thought was going to happen. I thought some shenanigans were going to go down, and Regal was going to come out and say, "Whoa, Adam Cole, you think you got away with it? But next week it's going to be a fatal four-way for your NXT championship." I don't know why I made him sound like a Viking or something, but that did not happen. So I'm going to throw out another crazy scenario for this coming Wednesday. It's supposed to be Finn Balor versus Adam Cole. It's going to be a great match, but it's going to have a botched finish because I'm predicting right now that Johnny Gargano is going to return and beat the fuck out of Finn. And that will set up a Finn Balor versus Johnny Gargano, and then Keith Lee and Tommaso Ciampa will face Adam Cole in a triple threat match. What do you think of that?
That sounds very good.
I'm always wrong. I've been watching wrestling for 30 years, and I'm wrong every time I've tried to predict something. But I'm throwing that wild theory out there right now.
And also next week we have the Baszler versus Ripley for the title. You think Baszler's going to be dropping in and going to the main roster?
They have built Rhea Ripley so well that it's making me think that it's going to be Rhea's time. I believe Rhea's going to win the NXT Women's Championship, and I don't believe Shayna will go immediately to the main roster. I think maybe like in 2 weeks we'll see a rematch between Rhea and Shayna. Shayna loses, and then at the Women's Royal Rumble debuts on the main roster.
Yeah. Which ones do you think is going to be the main event? Probably Baszler and Ripley, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, damn, that's hard to call. You know what? They might put... You know, in order to compete with AEW, they might have Rhea and Shayna kick off SmackDown just to get the attention, and then they'll end with Finn and Adam Cole because they're going up against Jericho versus Jungle Boy, and there's no way that's gonna main event. There's no way that's gonna beat Cole versus Finn, Jungle Boy versus Jericho. There's no fucking way.
That's probably going to end up being a quick match, too. Jake's going to get involved or something.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. It should be... This coming Wednesday is going to be incredible. I'm going to be watching, of course. Thank you very much, PeterWayneKent, for helping me break down AEW and NXT. Are there any theories you want to put out into the universe? Any predictions?
Well, I gave my killer prediction of the week to...
Oh, okay.
And with the underscore with an I, so it'll be on his show tomorrow when he posts it for his prediction show of TLC.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Go head on over to the Steel Real After Party YouTube page and watch the Still Real pregame hosted by Andy with an I. He has multiple guests, multiple segments. I've seen. He sent me an advanced copy. It's incredible. It's funny. It's entertaining. Be sure to subscribe to his YouTube page as well. Thank you once again, PeterWayneKent, for your time. And as always, all hail Linda's Bush.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, hail Caesar.
It's your boy Julius _Caesar. And Mangria has asked me what I think about CM Punk returning to win the Rumble. And I ain't never heard some hot garbage-ass horse shit in my life. I mean, I like Aaron Rowan in this fucking mystery cage shit more than I like that bullshit. And I don't even like Aaron Rowan. He's some bullshit. I mean, what the fuck has overrated non-UFC fighting ass CM Punk done? Besides quit. Like, I can't think of any great CM Punk matches besides the one with John Cena for the title where he ran through the crowd after he won. Other than that shit, I mean, change my mind. Julius _Caesar, as it sounds. Look me up every Tuesday. My handle's right there. Right into me. I got the network. I'll watch the shit. Okay? Please change my mind if you can. If not, see you motherfuckers next week on Hail Caesar.